Hey everyone, welcome to episode 28 of Disney Channel original Noobies. I'm Joanna.
Hola, me llamo Samuel.
Hi Sam.
It's Samuel, actually.
Hi Samuel.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
How are you?
You just asked me that. I'm doing well.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad you're still doing well.
Yeah.
Since the first time I asked you.
I'm glad too.
Yeah. You ready to talk about some movies?
I am ready to talk about movies.
Any specific movie you want to talk about today?
Well, I was actually hoping to talk about The 12th Night, but I guess we could talk about Motocrossed instead.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because as of, about 4 minutes ago, I had no idea what The 12th Night was. But you're an English major, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized pretty early on it was The 12th Night.
I had a different reference in my head.
She's the man.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. That's on my list of things I want to discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that works.
But let's talk about Motocrossed as Motocrossed.
Motocrossed. Yeah. I thought it was called Motocross, the sport, until I watched this movie. It's actually just called Motocross.
Oh.
I thought because of the motors.
That's what I thought too.
Guess not. It's because of the motos.
We've got eggs on our face, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do that normally, but...
It's a skincare routine. Anyway, is this a movie that you watched as a kid?
I almost certainly saw it as a kid, but most of it I didn't remember what happens in the movie outside of the premise of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to guess you haven't seen this movie before?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Surprisingly,
yeah.
No.
It's a rare one, right? You've seen none so far.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So another
that
one.
Trend will probably continue for quite a while.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an off movie that you've seen.
Maybe.
You really never saw You Lucky Dog before?
No.
Huh. Interesting.
And my life was better for it.
Oh, well. Alas, whatever. I guess ignorance is bliss.
Yes, in that case it is. Anyway, Motocrossed, which I wrote correctly on my notes, but just didn't say correctly, opens up with a motocross / cheerleading montage.
As all great movies do.
As all great movies do.
Oh, wait. Gone with the Wind, is it cheerleading and... Oh, no, that's cheerleading and go-karts. Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was
easy to confuse.
Yeah,
easy to confuse.
That's my mistake.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's all right. That's why we're here. We're going to talk things out.
All right, cool.
So it's pretty clear just from this opening montage that the girl that we follow, Andy, is a cheerleader and her mom supports her cheer. And her twin brother, Andrew, is into motocross and the dad is training him.
Well, I think they're all into motocross.
Yes, they are. You don't find that's not clear from the beginning montage, but it quickly becomes clear.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They're a big motocross family.
So big that instead of a front yard, they just have a motocross track.
I couldn't tell how far away from the house that was.
It was right on the house.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Like one bad move and you're going through the front door.
It's like those families that had a soccer net in their front yard that I was always jealous of.
Yeah, but this was a little bit more intense. Just a little.
Than a soccer net?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like a tiny bit.
But marginally.
Barely. Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
There. All right, cool.
Yeah. Of course.
So we find out, we'll go over the family a little bit first. So the dad is obsessed with motocross. He was previously a racer. Seemingly, I don't know if he was pro or not, but he seemed like he was up there. Very into
the motocross circuit.
And he quit his job to start a team and manage it involving his son. His oldest son, I should say. The oldest son's named Andrew, who, like you said before, he rides the bike. Then there's Andrea, who is the middle child. No, they're twins.
No, the twin.
Andrew and Andrea, not confusing at all. They are twins. And she's a cheerleader.
And Andrea prefers to go by Andy. So it's Andrew and Andy.
Yes, exactly. And then the youngest son, Jason, who's substantially younger than them, he seems like. Probably like 5-6 years younger than them.
Yeah, about that. I think they're, what, 16, 17?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And he's a very good mechanic,
The
especially
best.
for his age.
The best.
And
They show him tinkering a lot.
Right. And the mom is basically just, supportive of the
A
family.
mom. Typical
She's
Disney
generic
Channel
Disney Channel mom. Disney Channel original mom. The dad is really like obsessed with racing, really wants the son to win these races in order for them to get a sponsorship to help support the family.
Because the sponsorship means that they will get free parts for the bike, which will
right, and then
be
extra
a
money too. I
cost
think
reduction.
Yeah. So I didn't know there was that much money in motocross, but apparently it's sustainable for a living. So good
I
for them.
guess so. And I mean, they have quite the lifestyle to maintain. Like they have a giant house. They have a track in their yard. They have this, it seemed like at least 3 bikes in a giant garage.
Certainly, yeah.
And a big trailer.
Yeah, but I feel like they were pretty simple otherwise, though.
I didn't get that impression.
They didn't have any of those fancy like calculators and computers and stuff like. Oh no, they did have a fancy computer.
Yeah, they did.
Fancy for 2001. Dude, you're getting Adele. And we also find out early on, like you said before, that Andrea she likes racing, but isn't really allowed to because the dad doesn't let her.
Because it's too dangerous.
Because she is a
girl.
Yeah. How dare she?
I just want to say that I wrote multiple times throughout this movie, the dad sucks.
Want to hear something funny among those lines?
Yes.
So on IMDb, there's sometimes a thing that says like fun facts or trivia. This is one of the things in trivia on this movie. No one liked the dad in this movie. I was like, yeah, I guess that is a trivia. I don't know.
Yep. I can see that.
Yes. The answer to that question is yes.
You are correct.
So the very naughty older twins, they decide to go race each other while the parents are away. And Andrew has quite a fall off his bike. And he doesn't break his leg, but he hurts it pretty badly, it sounds like.
Yeah.
He's out for like 6 weeks or something along those lines.
Yeah, he goes straight through a fence. From the brace, it looked like something that you would wear when you tear an ACL.
Definitely wasn't a torn ACL, though. That would have been for way longer.
Well, I mean, it's movie
Maybe
land.
a slight meniscus tear.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say. Some soft tissue damage, maybe. In my expert opinion.
I mean, you are a doctor.
Right. And an expert on motocross.
Yes.
So, that's obvious. The parents, well, I guess the dad really is just mad at them because Andrew just threw away his chance at winning the sponsorship.
But he also blames Andy.
Right. I think we should call her Andrea. Or
Andrea. Andrea.
Just because it's easier to distinguish
between Andrew and Andrea.
How about this? Well, when she has long hair, we'll call her Andrea. In other instances, we'll call her Andy, okay?
I feel like that's going to make it more confusing. So the dad is mad at Andrea because he blames her
he's a mad
for
dad.
Andrew going through the fence and hurting himself.
Yes.
When it is not her fault. They had a mutual decision to go have fun.
Right.
And race.
Right.
And that's seems like it's the nature of the sport.
The nature of the beast.
Why would they build a fence so close to the track?
Keep the bike on the track. Make sure the cows don't run onto the track.
Oh, they were keeping the cows out of the track.
Yeah, it's more to keep things out than to keep things on.
Okay. Because, on the actual race tracks, they had, soft barriers.
Of dirt.
Yeah. Of dirt and like string.
Right.
Not a wooden fence. But I didn't realize that they were keeping the cow
fence is
out.
Keeping away the people from getting on the track.
Yeah, but it seemed like those were better situated in a safer way.
Debatable.
Yeah, okay. It is debatable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you finally see it my way. It's like you said, the dad's mad at them, and the dad decides, I got to go to Europe to find myself a racer to have a race for our team.
Yeah, I can't let my daughter, who seems capable of keeping up with my son, race because she's a girl.
Yes, he's very adamant about that.
Instead, I'll let her do cheerleading, where people do backflips and throw each other in the air.
I wonder if more people get serious injuries from cheerleading per capita than motocross.
That's a really good question.
But I'm sure like every person who's done motocross has had like a horrific injury. But not every single cheerleader.
I mean, I don't know a lot about cheerleading, but I feel like if you're at the top of the pyramid, you're more likely to get seriously injured than the bottom of the pyramid. You know, if you're the person being thrown.
The literal pyramids they
yes,
make. Yes,
the literal pyramids.
I agree.
Yeah.
The ones that get thrown through like basketball hoops and stuff like that, they're probably in a precarious situation, to say the least. So he's off to Europe, and in the meantime, they get a letter that says like the races are moved up 2 weeks, and there's no way, and they can't get in touch with their dad. This is like they have a cell phone, but like, you know, foreign calls and all that. They don't know where he is. He doesn't know what's going on in the U.S. He doesn't know the races were moved up, and he's not back yet. So Andrea's like, you know what I'm going to do?
I'm going to race.
I'm going to take the place of my brother.
Naturally. So for the first race, she shows up as herself, as Andrea, long hair blowing.
Well, this is not even a real race. This is just like practice session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she shows up to the track, and the guys are like, we're going to beat the living shit out of this girl.
Oh, yeah.
Check.
Do you know who any of those guys were?
No.
So they're professional motocross guys. You remember Travis Pastrana?
No.
No way. You've never heard of him?
No.
He's like literally the most famous motocross guy, like X Games. He was always doing crazy stuff. He was one of those guys there.
That's cool.
Yeah. I can't even never heard. He's like the Tony Hawk of motocross. Yeah, so they knock her off the track to kind of like mess with her because they don't want like a girl competing with them, which is very mean of them, I would say.
That is very mean of them.
After that, I think this is when Andrea and Andrew have a conversation. He's like, it's because you're a girl, that's why they're messing with you. If you were a guy, they wouldn't do that. So she has the master plan to now
cut her hair
and look like a guy when she races so people don't mess with her on purpose.
And she does a pretty good job on all fronts.
Oh, she totally looks like a guy.
Yeah, she looks like a guy. Yeah. And then, I mean, the first race sucks, but it's her first pro race. And then she gets better pretty quickly.
Well, we have to go to the store scene. You can't miss that.
We do it. Oh.
So Andrea goes to the store to get boots. And she gets there, and the clerk who works at the store knows her and her family. But
they're regulars.
Thinks she's Andrew. So he's like, oh, I was just on the phone with you. How'd you get here so quickly? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I got your parts here. You need anything else? She's like, I'm going to get some boots too. He's like, all right, cool. So she gets boots, put them on the table. And then Andrew and his family, and her family, walk in. Unbeknownst to her, they came in. And Andrew is like, and he's like, oh.
Also on crutches, by the way.
Yeah, he's on crutches. And the clerk's like, oh, did you want the boots? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't need boots. I just need the parts you're talking about. He's like, oh, you just said you needed boots. He's like, no, I didn't say that. And she's like, oh, okay, well, sure. So he goes to get the parts. And in the meantime, Andrea comes back and she puts the boots on the table. She puts the boots on the counter. And then she walks away again, I think because she sees her mom coming. And they go to ring her up. When Andrew comes back, they go to ring him up. And then he rings up the boots too. And he's like, I told you I don't need boots. And these aren't even my size. I don't know what you're talking about. And the clerk's like losing his gosh darn mind at that point.
That's accurate.
He's like,
he is disturbed.
I have like fumes in my brain or something. Maybe I was huffing too much glue. I don't know what's happening. But I don't like this one bit. If
Andrew and Andrea were doing this on purpose, it would be the perfect example of gaslighting.
Yes. It was like an Abbott and Costello sketch. Mm-hmm. They did sketches, sort of, right? Play, act, I don't know.
Yeah, thing.
Yeah,
thing.
Yes, thank you. That was the word I was looking
term.
for.
Yeah.
Their thing. So it eventually works out. Those scene goes on for way too long. And eventually, Andrea's mom finds out, oh, she's going to race. And stops her from doing it, has a change of heart, and then allows Andrea to race.
Can we also address that in the store, they were dressed, Andrea and Andrew were dressed the exact same way. So that means that Andrew has the exact same sweatshirt, like two
Maybe
of
that's
them.
hers.
So they just have matching outfits?
They're twins.
That's adorable.
What else are they supposed to do?
That's a good point.
I think all twins have the same outfits.
I mean, I don't have a twin, so I can't confirm, but that would make sense.
For sure, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger have the same
Oh, yeah,
outfits.
they did have the same outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
movie
In Twins.
Twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Their real life story.
Right.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Duh. So she ends up going to the race, and like you said before, she doesn't do great in the first race, but she does pass as a guy though. So she's got
does.
that
Yeah.
totally on lockdown.
Goal 1 met. And then she's kind of putting the bike away. She's having a pretty hard time getting up in the trailer, and someone comes and helps her.
Mr. Dean.
Dean.
Dean from Gilmore Girls. No, I'm kidding. Just regular Dean.
Yeah, different Dean.
Because he sees that Andrea is able to talk to these beautiful women who are at the motocross event.
Which really, I didn't.
She barely talked to them.
Yeah, she barely
it's her
talked to
mom
them. They
talking
were
to them.
there with the mom who was
Right.
doing their nails.
So he's like
So
super jealous.
Dean should have hung out with her mom.
Yeah, 100%.
Really.
And he's like, teach me your ways of how you could talk to these girls.
And she was like, just use your vocal cords and say hi and be a decent human being.
Did you ever see the scene from that 70s show when what's his name? Eric. And Ashton Kutcher and Wilmer Valderrama think he's like hooking up with someone's mom. And they're like bowing down
With
to
Jackie's
him.
mom.
Yeah. And they're
Yes.
like bowing down
Yeah.
to him. That's what that reminded me of. When like none of it was true. And he was like, oh, you gotta teach me your ways.
Norman, you're a god.
Easily my favorite scene ever in that 70s show. Not even close. Nothing's not even remotely close to that.
But yeah, so Dean mistakenly thinks that Andrea is the, I don't know, best person ever at talking to chicks.
Well,
They
he's
call them
right. He's
chicks.
right though. He's wrong about the premise, but she actually is good at setting him up eventually.
Yeah, that is true.
So he chose wisely.
That's true.
He's also a really good racer and won the first race. We should
Yeah,
say.
he's the best in, I guess, the league.
Yeah, it
yeah.
seems like a interstate kind of thing, so a pretty big area. So he's the real deal, and it looks like he's on pace to like get the sponsorship too.
Yeah, he's already part of a bigger team.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and also he has a huge crush on the owner, the sponsor, who's the owner, whatever, his daughter.
Yeah.
Farron, I think her name was.
Yes, it was Farron.
Yeah.
Weird name. Was that like a name that people had in the early 2000s?
I think I know one person, or I've heard of one person with that name.
Farron.
Maybe it was Farah, now I'm thinking about it. Maybe it was Farah
Same-
Jaka.
I think Farah Jaka.
Farah Jaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farron Jaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. So he wants advice, basically saying, hey, I'll help you out with motocross. You help me get with this girl, Farron.
Andy eventually agrees. He talks to Farron, and
She talks to Farron.
she talks to Farron.
So even Andrea convinced you.
Yeah. Andrea talks to Farron. And Farron's like, no, not into Dean, not into boys who only talk about motocross and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, she just wants a guy that's obsessed with her and doesn't have any of their own interests, it seems like.
She would be his interest.
Right. Which
Yeah.
he might be on board for.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like he does fulfill that requirement.
Yeah. Oh, and also in one scene, you have the generic situation where Andrea has to take her shirt off, but then doesn't do it, obviously, because she can't, and they jump into a lake together, Dean and Andrea.
Yes. Yeah, that traditional scene.
It has to, in every scene where there's some sort of gender swap, that has to happen.
Of course. She handles it pretty well.
Oh, yeah. She just jumps in with her shirt on.
Yeah.
And tackles him.
Done.
Oh, and it's also pretty clear at this point that she's kind of falling for him.
Yeah, very quickly. I
Oh,
mean, they've known each other
extremely.
for like a day.
Yeah. Then I think it's the next weekend or the next day. Not very clear. There's more races.
Yeah, the timeline of this movie, I did not get at all.
Yeah, but I think it was there was a weekend before there was those two races, and she's terrible in the first and like pretty bad in the second. And now the next weekend, I think it is, there's 3 more races. The first race she gets 7th place. Then she did well in the second. I don't know what place she gets. And the third one, I think she won, but I'm not 100% certain about that.
She won or she came, maybe she just podiumed. I
Something
wasn't sure
like that,
either.
yeah.
But she did significantly better.
Yep.
But at this point, she and her mom, and it seems like everyone, are all staying at a hotel because this is a weekend.
Yeah, it's away.
I couldn't tell if it was one weekend or a week.
I think it's one weekend. It was a summer, though, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah. But she takes this opportunity to further set up Dean with Farron.
With tickets to see...
NSYNC.
How excited were you when you heard NSYNC?
I mean, they're not Backstreet Boys, but I guess
You
they're
were
okay.
Backstreet Boys head?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
We've had this conversation.
On the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because that's all the conversations we have, so...
Just podcast conversations.
So Andrea gives him these NSYNC tickets and like finagles the situation right. So then Farron ends up going with Dean to see NSYNC.
Can we talk about Dean's outfit?
Yeah, I loved it.
Would you wear it?
Not in the summer. I wouldn't wear a black turtleneck in the summer, I don't think.
And leather pants?
I would wear the leather pants in the summer.
Oh. Okay.
Only in
only
the summer.
the leather pants.
Yeah. No, only in the summer.
Oh, I thought you meant you would only wear the leather pants.
They're not the fall or winter clothing. Or even spring. It's just summer clothing.
Leather clothing is known for being summer wear.
100%. Mm-hmm. It breathes so well.
Especially when it's nice and tight.
Oh my God. That's when you know it breathes the most.
Yeah. It's magnificent.
Yeah.
It's literally a second skin.
Yes. Oh my God. Snake skin in the summer. Wow.
So comfortable.
Oh, hell yeah. So yeah, I would wear that outfit except for not the black turtleneck. Or unless it was the winter, then I would wear the turtleneck.
But not the pants.
No, absolutely not. Okay. It's the wrong season for that.
All right,
would you wear it?
No.
Why not? You would look too much like Tim Apple.
Oh my God.
Is that why?
Because I wouldn't want Dean to feel bad about himself after seeing how good I look.
Oh, I think you were saying if you came in with the same clothing as him.
Hey guys, check out how good I look.
That's fair. I'll give you that. So they ended up going on the date, and it sounds like it went well. But the bad thing is that Andrea goes to her next race, and who shows up?
Her shitty dad.
Her Pops.
Ugh,
Mr.
gross.
Pops. And he's like, nah. This is not going to happen.
Oh, look, right here. I wrote, Dad sucks.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
So the dad is like, what are you doing here? I told you not to do this. He takes them home, and that's the end of the movie.
Wait a second. That's not the end of the movie.
Oh.
You forgot about the French guy.
Oh, yeah, the French guy.
Yeah, so Renee comes to town. Miss Renee, French guy. And he is the new racer. And the dad brought over from France. I'm assuming France, right?
Yes, he was from France.
Has to be. And he is very rude and condescending and doesn't get along with anyone at all.
And there's an article about how rude and condescending and unsportsmanlike he is.
He's been dropped 5 times from different teams for being unsportsmanlike.
But the 6th time is a charm.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he proves them right. The 6th time is a charm.
Right. So now they go to the race with him. And this time it's a little bit different because now Andrew is going to the race with crutches and everything.
The whole family is going.
Right. Everyone's there.
Mom, Dad, Andrew, Andrea.
Yep.
What's the little brother's name? I forgot.
Mickey
Scott?
Rooney? Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, let's go with Mickey Mouse.
Jason.
Why didn't they give him an A name?
Great question. Too many A's to begin with, though. Wasn't the mom an A name, too?
I don't remember. I thought her name was Mom.
Oh, it was an M name. My bad.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Dad's name is Dad.
Dad. Yep. Yeah. Dad Carson. Mom Carson. Yeah, you're right. Okay. And Dean and Farron walk over to Andrew to talk to him, and Andrew's never really talked to them ever before, so he pretends to be himself, and he just forgets he doesn't know who Farron is. So she's like, "That's weird that you don't know who I am. We've talked multiple times recently." And then Andrew introduces Dean to Andrea.
Yes.
And he's like, huh.
You
It's
look
not
familiar.
clear if he's trying to figure out where he knows her from or if he likes her immediately or both.
I got the impression that he was trying to figure out how he knows her.
Oh, okay.
And then he's like, you look really familiar. And she's like, we're twins.
Okay. Because I wrote he likes her, ? In the very beginning. So maybe I just can't tell emotions.
Well, I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
He definitely starts to like her when she walks over and gives a good suggestion for how he can improve his bike.
Very true. They do some races. In the first race, Mr. Rene knocks off not Dean,
but one
from
of his
Dean's team
teammates
off the track, and he wins the race.
Did he? No,
The guy
he
was
didn't
hurt. No, the guy was hurt.
He was hurt, but
Yeah.
not like super bad.
Right.
It
not
was
like the
just
movie
bad
Super
enough.
Bad.
Yeah, it was.
He
It
looked
did not
nothing
become
like
a
Jonah
movie.
Hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like him. That's when, like you said before, Andrea comes over and helps out Dean with the bike. They start talking. Dean's like very awkward because he's terrible with girls still, despite literally being in a relationship at the time. And
It did look pretty awkward though.
Right, it did. 100%. Agree. At this point, Andrea sees Renee talking to one of the other owners.
He was on their
Dean's
rig.
team, I think it was,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And she's like, oh, he's just going to like
He's
leave
gonna
our
ditch
team.
us and leave to go to a bigger team.
Right. And at first the dad doesn't believe him, but then the dad's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. And he drops Renee.
After talking to the mom, and the mom
Right.
was like, What are you doing, man?
So
You're trusting this French guy that you met 2 days ago above your daughter?
he probably likes really, really, really thin pancakes for all we know.
Oh, I bet he does.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? Oh.
I had a whole mess of crepes this morning.
But now the dad also agrees to let
That
Andrea
Renee
race.
sucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Renee, both of those things.
Yeah.
That Renee sucks and Andrea
Renee
should
should
race.
eat cat poop.
Oh, 100%. He won't do it,
No, he will not eat cat poop.
but he should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Immediately, Dean and Farron just break up. And Dean asks Andrew, quote unquote, if his sister's dating anyone. And he's like,
You have a girlfriend.
nah, bro. I do it pretty good, Andrew, right? Nah, bro.
Well, no, you have to do an Andrea.
Nah, bro.
There you go.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And by the way, you also called Andrea he.
Well, I put Andrew in quotes because Dean thinks it's Andrew.
So say she.
Right, but I'm going off of what he thinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's time for the big race.
Vroom vroom.
Andrea is going up against the bad boy of racing, Mr. Renee.
What a jerk.
Yeah.
Luckily, she kicks his butt.
Yeah. Oh, and also everyone's wearing nail polish, which we didn't mention before, and we're not going to mention now. You have to watch the movie to understand it. But everyone's wearing
Agreed.
a green
A green.
nail polish.
Green.
Renee in the beginning knocks her off the track. She gets back on. They're neck and neck near the end. He again tries to knock her off. She stops pretty quickly. He flies off the track, and she wins the race.
It's a beautiful moment.
Bingo, bango. First place.
Then there's the big interview scene.
Oh my! This interview was the longest interview. Oh, it's on ESPN.
It is on ESPN.
This is nationally televised, by the way.
I bet it was on ESPN 8 the Ocho.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, this seems like their jam.
Oh yeah, right after professional hacky sack,
Yeah.
and they admit to everything that's going on behind the scenes.
Renee calls them out.
Yeah, but then they admit.
Yeah,
to
then
it.
they
Yeah.
admit it.
Full mea culpa.
And then Dean is like, I don't know what to believe anymore. And he storms off.
And that's about it. That's like the biggest reaction you get from him. The entire rest of the movie. Negative, at least. For being lied to for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. And then there's the whole, we're going to penalize this girl for competing with boys and winning. And the mom is like,
yeah.
I read the rule book. And it turns out you can't penalize girls for beating boys.
There's no rule book that says a dog can't do motocross.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from Airbud.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
They also try to get her penalized for playing motocross, for driving the bike under her brother's name, but that's when she used the name Andy, which is her nickname. Yeah. So, jokes on
So
them.
she registered as herself. Pew,
and then,
pew.
and then we have to figure out from the sponsor whether or not they're going to go along with her. And it turns out Barbara Rollins, who's the COO, I forget her job.
She's the woman on top.
Yeah.
She broke through that glass ceiling.
And she's like, "Oh, you mean this girl over here lied and raced as pretending to be a boy and she was a girl the whole time? Hell yeah, we're giving her a sponsorship."
She won.
In fact, the whole family's getting a sponsorship.
They're all awesome for supporting their daughter, helping her do what she wants to do, except for the dad. But yeah, they all get a sponsorship. Good for them.
100%. Mm-hmm. Jump skip to sometime in the future, seeming like maybe the end of the summer. About
Not too far because her hair is still short.
Yeah, maybe about like a few weeks later, like 3-4 weeks later. They're at home, and the dad is like, "Hey, we got money for a rider to do 250, whatever that means. 250cc maybe, like in Mario Kart racing. Who knows?"
Yeah, that's probably it.
And she's like, "Oh, who's the racer?" And he's like, "Oh, go check outside."
Oh, the mom says that.
The mom says,
yeah, the
"Go check
mom
outside."
is like very into this.
Right. So Andrea goes outside, and who's there?
It's Dean.
Mr. Dean.
Mr. Dean. He came back.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm on the team." She's like,
No, you're not.
"No, not yet, buddy.
You
Not
got to
so
race
fast.
for it.
So let's go do 12 laps out back. And if you beat me, you're on the team."
And we don't know if he got on the team.
Well, they're on their bikes. They go launch midair. It pauses and then it goes to credits.
Yeah, so
who
we don't
knows?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He may not make the team. For all we
That
know.
would suck. Poor Dean.
Too bad. But yeah, that's the movie.
Hooray. That was fun.
Well, first we'll get into our thoughts in the movie.
Okay.
But quick question first.
Go for it.
What are your thoughts on the movie?
I liked this movie. I thought it was fun. I think I'm liking the sport movies more. Like Brink and Johnny Tsunami and now this.
And
Yeah.
Mom Had a Date with a Vampire.
And Mom had a, yes.
All the sports movies.
Yeah, all the sports movies. That had a lot of weightlifting in it.
Oh my God, so much.
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't feel bored. I was frustrated with the dad, but other than that,
It's nice to have a common enemy that everyone
literally
is having issues
everyone.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't bring up the one good line with the dad. So the dad's sitting down at the table and sitting with the kid who's like 9 or 10 years old. And the mom says, "You're being hypocritical." And the dad sits down next to the son, Jason. And he's like, "Am I being hypocritical?" And the son's like, clearly has no idea what he's talking about. He's like, "Well, if hypocritical is a good thing, then yes. But if it's a bad thing, then no." I loved that line. It was great.
That was such a good answer. Yes.
Because at first I thought he just didn't want to make the dad mad, but then he's just like, "I genuinely don't understand what that word means."
I mean, 3 years old, dad.
Yeah.
Chill.
That was great. I agree. I think in general about the sports movies, totally like those most. Also, like we're hyper athletes, so
Yeah,
it just
we're-
makes sense. That's just a given.
Almost Olympians.
Yeah. I did like the movie. Wasn't boring at all. Very simple plot. Likable characters in it. At first you think like all the motocross guys are gonna be dicks, but eventually Dean, you find out, is a nice guy. A lot of subplots and stuff like that. I don't think there's much of a morals to the story, which is kind of whatever, but otherwise, good movie. I liked it.
Are there morals to most of the Disney Channel movies?
I think a lot of them do. I don't know.
I'm trying to...
Well, there's definitely a moral, but like this one's pretty,
Don't be sexist.
surface. Right. It's like,
Yeah.
women could do what men do. I mean, it's not.
Don't be a hypocrite.
Well, if it's a good thing, you could be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
If it's a
But
bad
if it's
thing,
a
then
bad thing,
definitely
don't be a hypocrite.
Definitely don't do that. Why would you do that? The guy who wrote this movie, Steve Boyum, I think his name is. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, Steve, if you're listening. He also wrote Johnny Tsunami,
Okay.
Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire,
Nice. All the sports movies.
and Stepsister from Planet Weird. How? These are they're just wildly different movies.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he adapted this one.
Sure. But still,
Yeah,
it's impressive.
like he wrote the lines, but not the plot.
That's fair. That's very... Actually, maybe the director now I'm thinking about it, but I'm not positive. And not the writer.
Okay,
I should probably look it up. I'm not gonna.
that's fine.
Yeah.
We're just here to have fun.
Do you want to do... Here's your choice. Fun facts first? There's a few. Or do you want to go through our questions first?
Let's do fun facts, and you do yours, and then I have some fun facts as well.
Are these fun facts that you looked up or ones that you just knew?
They are fun facts that I knew, but I wanted to confirm that they were correct, so I double checked.
Okay. So, like you said before, it's an adaptation of William Shakespeare, Billy Shakespeare's Twelfth Night.
Big Billy Shakespeare.
Like I said before, Travis Pastrana's in the movie. Duh. The main girl, her name's Alana Austin. She thought that she'd be wearing a wig for when she was pretending to be a boy, but then found out that she actually had to like cut her hair for those scenes.
I kind of figured that they had actually cut her hair. Just
It looks
It
really
looked-
natural.
yeah,
And she
Yeah.
like we said before, she pulls it off. Like she definitely looks like a guy for sure.
it was clear that that was her actual hair.
It was very impressive. And this last fun fact: did you ever watch Seventh Heaven growing up?
No.
All right. Well, so this will be fun for you. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters in this movie were in Seventh Heaven,
That's a lot.
but in like small roles. Dean, Jason, the little brother, Andrea, Renee, which is wild, and Donnie. Donnie, I don't know who that is, but all 5 of them were in Seventh Heaven.
That is a lot.
Very, very
Impressive.
strange. So that's all of my fun facts. Now on to yours.
So this is just going to be a 12th night fun fact and not a motocross fun fact.
Sure, let's go
Yeah.
for it.
Well, first, I like at the end when they were like, when Andrea says, let's do 12 laps.
Do you think that
12th
was...
night.
I didn't think about
that was certainly a nod to the 12th night.
Interesting.
But you know the famous Shakespeare quote, some are born great, some achieve greatness, some have greatness thrust upon them.
I thought that was Wayne Gretzky.
Close.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Shakespeare quote.
Yep.
Very inspirational from the 12th night. That quote in the play happens because one character is just playing a nasty joke on another character and writes a letter to him. The character receiving the letter is in love with someone.
It's like a love triangle, sort of.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
there are all these like side characters.
Sure.
So this is a side character, Malvolio. He receives a letter and it has that line in it. But the letter is not really from Farron.
Yep.
It's from someone else who's just playing a trick on him.
Yes.
So that whole like really big inspirational quote, it was just a dirty trick in a Shakespeare play.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yep. Yay. I hope no one listening has that tattooed on their body.
But it's what if they're in on the joke?
That's true. I hope you were in on the joke when you got it tattooed on your body.
There we go.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, guys.
So that was, when did I figure out?
Well, I figured out it was She's the Man pretty quickly. You know She's the Man came out after this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did know that.
The
I
movie
watched
is
that
so
movie
good.
so many times in college.
It was great. In college you watched it?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
Oh, I watched that in like high school, the latest.
I mean, I watched it in high school too, but
Yeah.
we watched it a lot in college.
Oh, that's so funny. See, I just like soccer movies, so I'll watch all those.
Do you like cheese? I like cheese. My favorite's Gouda.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
It's like all those like whatever soccer movies I'd watch. Ben like Beckham, all those.
I liked Ben to like Beckham.
Yeah.
That was good. So I realized that this was 12th night, and I wrote down both She's the Man and 12th night.
Nice.
When Dean asks Andrea for girl tips.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't know, but yeah, I'll take your word for it.
It's in my notes. You can
I'll
double
take your word
check.
for it that it has to do with the 12th night.
Okay.
No, not hot seat. Questions. Are you ready for questions now?
I am ready for questions.
You start this time.
Okay. Well, first I want to start with ship. We did have a discussion before the podcast. This was our first.
Yeah, there's an obvious ship, so we're just gonna skip this one.
Yeah, no shipping this time.
Obviously, Farron and Jason.
Yeah,
It's not. It's no
brainer.
So
yeah.
Whatever.
What would you change?
I wish that they raced each other again, like in the movie, not the last 12 laps. I wish there was another race with the two of them. So there's some conflict, unlike not letting each other win or whatever, but actually having them face each other.
Okay.
Dean and Andrea, that is.
All right. In the 12th night, similar to She's the Man, they're on the same team.
Oh, interesting. For motocross?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that existed back then.
Shakespeare invented it.
He invented motocross?
Yeah. It's
Wait,
not
is
widely
it
known.
So, but it wasn't around for a while? 2000 Leagues Under the Sea? How he invented things? Or he wrote it in the story and then it existed in real life too?
No, he invented it. Like how he invented words, he also invented motocross.
Right, but I'm saying, was motocross around back then too? No. So it came out hundreds of years later.
No, it was the next week after the 12th night premiered.
So it's not like a Leo da Vinci thing where he just invented things that didn't happen back then.
No.
Eventually these things will exist.
Yeah, no.
Gotcha.
Big Billy Shakespeare wrote this play. Someone got an advanced reader copy and they're like, this is a great idea.
Got it. Understood. Yeah. Okay. Glad we're on the same page now. What would you have changed?
I would have liked it if the dad had one redeeming quality before the end of the movie.
He likes ice cream.
That's just human.
Oh, okay. They shouldn't have humanized him. Is what you're saying. No, I agree. There was it was just everyone dislikes him. It's like the Hunter and Bambi.
And you're thinking why is this woman married to him? Because she was great.
Yeah,
I like
nice.
the mom.
Yeah.
Why is she wasting her time on this asshole?
Well, he eventually lets her race. So that's kind of good.
Eventually, after it seems like years of putting her down.
I mean, it's a big change. He didn't want her to get hurt. He's overly protective. I'm just trying to scrape the barrel for something redeeming.
No.
But whatever.
No.
Who would you most want to hang out with?
I think Andy. Andrea.
Okay.
Yeah, Andrea, Andy.
I can see that for you, for sure.
Yeah.
To help you get with girls.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, to show me how to paint my nails.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. How about you?
I put Dean. He seemed like a nice guy.
Okay.
And I'm a guy, so he wouldn't be awkward around me.
That's really nice.
So, just two guys hanging out.
Yeah. Jumping in lakes together.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't do that. That's not
That's
ridiculous.
True. You would not jump at all.
I'd rather ride bikes than do that. It's safer for me.
What was your favorite scene?
I was teetering between my favorite and least favorite scene for this one scene.
Tell me both, please.
No, it's one scene.
Oh.
That was close to being both. It's the same scene for close to being both.
So you just had strong emotions about this
and I didn't know
scene.
which way I felt.
Okay.
I loved it and hated it at the same time. When they go to the store and freak out the clerk.
Oh, that was...
I couldn't tell if I hated it or thought it was really funny.
That was a little painful for me.
It was long.
I just felt really bad for the clerk.
Yeah, it was great though. What was your favorite scene?
So I put two things. One was all the racing montages. I just thought they were cool.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the movie, there's a really nice mother-daughter hug moment.
When she's crying?
Yeah. And the mom was just like, come here, I'll give you a hug. It made things better. And that made me happy.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
We should mention the race scenes were filmed really well. And
yeah,
legit
they were. They
really
were fun
cool
to
tricks.
watch.
Definitely. I mean, 100% professional motocross people because they were doing tricks and crazy stunts and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very well done.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. And now hot seat. I'll start this time though.
Okay.
In what specific instance can you remember that you were like looked down upon or, like felt disrespected for being a girl? You could only pick one.
That was that's the problem. Um while I'm thinking, I will tell you that I have two questions. One of them is, what is the either worst sports injury you've had or worst injury you've had, whichever story you like more.
Okay. I've only had two like sports injuries that were like I've had like runner's knee and stuff like that, but that's whatever. So one was I very rarely played I played soccer and baseball growing up. Very rarely played both in the same day. But one time there was like some tournament. I think it's like Memorial Day weekend. So I played soccer in the morning and played baseball later that afternoon. And in soccer, I like hurt my thumb, but it's just my thumb. It's whatever in soccer. So I played the rest of the game. Then I played baseball later that day, and I was trying to I played second base, and there's a grounder coming, and like bounced up in front of me. I was probably like 12 years old, 13 years old at the time, and I like jammed my thumb, and I was like, oh, that didn't feel great. The same thumb I hurt earlier in the day, and I went up to bat the next inning, and I like tried to grip the bat. I just couldn't even move my thumb, and I was like, oh no, this is not good. I like my glove barely fit the batting gloves. I was like, I don't think I can play anymore. So then when we went to like I don't think we went to the hospital. We went to like get an X-ray. I broke my thumb, unfortunately. And then another time when I was in college, I got turf toe because someone stepped on my top of my foot while playing soccer with their cleat. I couldn't walk for like 2 days after that. It was very, very painful. Probably that's the most painful injury I've ever had, which is pretty lucky, I think.
Very painful. Yeah.
So yeah, those are my sports injuries.
I would say nice because that's just a thing that I say, but that doesn't sound nice.
I mean, it's fine now. The turf toe went away.
That's good.
It was only like 12 years ago.
Yeah. And your thumb grew back, so that's
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it did come back.
Yeah.
I'm like a crab. And then if I injure it, I just cut it off with my pincer and it grows back.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You ever see those videos when they pinch off their own appendages?
Nope.
It's crazy. And they grow back after like a couple weeks.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Just snip it right off.
I learned something.
Yeah. Do you have an answer to the question?
Yes and no.
You've never felt disrespected as a girl because you're a girl?
Well, I have, but nothing like stands out because it's so frequent.
Sure. Nothing like sports or something like that. I don't know if when you did like cross country skiing and stuff like that, was that split up by gender?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And tennis obviously was too.
Yeah.
Okay.
For cross country skiing, I mean, we all trained together. But I mean, it was men's races and women's races.
Right. And obviously cross country, you'd race together, but
yeah.
It sounds like we've reached gender equality is what you're saying.
No.
Oh, you're not saying that?
No.
Okay.
So it's not in, one big thing where I could be like, that's the moment that stands out as a time where I was treated unequally. But it's more things that happen on a regular basis. So like walking down the street and people catcalling. Times when I've been running and a car has followed me. Being mansplained to often. Just these seemingly little things that are so ingrained into the way our society is and the way that we're treated that it's sad that it doesn't stand out because it's so frequent.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is your other hot seat question?
If Ryan Gosling were in this movie, who do you think he would play?
Oh, so if he like replaces one of the actors in the movie?
Yeah. Yep.
Ryan Gosling replaced one of the actors in the movie. I would probably say, I think this is pretty easy.
I think there's only one right answer.
Yeah. As a really young kid, he'd be Jason.
Yes.
Because just like in Drive, he'd be a mechanic. So, simple enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say,
That was
too.
easy. That was very easy. It was a softball question right there. Are you ready to guess what happens in the next movie?
I was born ready.
The next movie we will be watching on this podcast, or reviewing on this podcast, I should say, is The Luck of the Irish.
You are so excited for this.
Very excited for this movie. What do you think happens in this movie?
Before I say what I think happens, I just want to let listeners know that I think this and Johnny Tsunami are the Disney Channel movies that you have talked about the most.
Yes, certainly.
And then,
But I've never told you what happens in this movie.
no.
No. I would never.
But I do know it's a basketball movie.
Oh, because the picture?
Because of the picture, and I think you and your friends have spoken about it at some
That's
point.
possible.
So because it's a basketball movie called Luck of the Irish, I'm going to guess that a boy is not that great at basketball, but then he meets a leprechaun, and the leprechaun uses his leprechaun magic to help the boy be better.
It's like Aladdin, but with a leprechaun instead of a genie.
Yes. And
Okay.
instead of Aladdin trying to get the princess, it's a boy trying to be good at basketball. Jafar's still in it, though, and Iago.
As themselves.
Yes.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
Or is it Iago himself?
No, Jafar is himself. Iago is Gilbert
It's
Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, he plays himself in the movie. Okay. That makes sense.
No, it's Iago playing Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Yes.
So is he animated or is the whole movie animated?
Jafar and Iago as Gilbert Gottfried
Oh, they're both Gilbert Gottfried?
are animated.
They're both Gilbert Gottfried?
No, they're both animated,
Oh, okay.
and everything else is live action.
Gotcha. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Certainly makes a lot of sense. All right. Anything else you want to mention before we go?
Well, I would like to thank Big Billy Shakespeare for giving us the plot of this movie. I do think that I liked the She's the Man adaptation more.
Can we thank someone else then, if that's the case?
Yes, who would you like to thank?
Amanda Bynes.
Yeah, she definitely.
She's
thank
all
you,
that.
Amanda. She
And the
is all
man.
that. She's all that, man.
Yeah.
At one point during this movie, someone yelled out, "You the man." And that made me think of She's the Man also,
That's
which
funny.
was pretty great.
They guessed in the future.
Yeah, they did.
Incredible.
They did.
Really incredible stuff.
So other than that, I would remind everyone, a gentle reminder, if you will, to subscribe
Yeah.
to this podcast,
Why not?
wherever you listen to
It
podcasts.
literally costs nothing.
Maybe give us a follow on Instagram.
You could rate us on whatever podcast
Yeah, that'd be
app or
cool
whatever you
too.
listen on.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I understand that the new podcast app has been pretty slow, but the Apple one, but we're on Spotify. So, that's an option too.
We're everywhere.
Hell yeah.
You can also.
We're on the gas station video screens sometimes. They just play us there.
We should do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, why not?
Just random snippets of the podcast without any context.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. All right, I'm done.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. We'll catch y'all on the flip side.
You the man.
Yeah.